How much fun did you have playing Code the Bat in Rosario and Vampire?
A lot, actually, because I came around very rarely, which was neat, except for the song, which I went back and watched recently, and that is the only time I've ever sang, and it's wound up in something that I was like, that wasn't half bad. You know, wasn't all bad, wasn't half bad. Because I've sang in other things before, and it didn't turn out so well. But that one, yeah, I was like, that's pretty good. And actually, even that's another great thing. We were talking about this on the way here. Actors do this all the time. Whenever other actors, usually our friends, are in, and we know that they have a particular strength, we'll listen to the way they do a certain voice. Well, guess what? Next time it comes time to audition, we're going to do our version of that voice. And we all do it. I mean, it's one of the ways we grow and learn from each other. But I don't know how many of you saw, what's the show with Babbitt? Kodocho. The little bat that flies around and kind of does the same thing that, yeah.
Wow.
Well, Babbitt was played by Chris Kaysen, who also tried out for the part of Bat. And I had a session with him a couple days after I found out I got that part. And he says, so, what voice did you do, just out of curiosity, for the Bat? And I said, well, I just did my best impression of Babbitt. And he's like, okay, well, I don't know why they would just get me to do it. Because it's this much different. That's why they didn't want it to be the same. But that was fun. Whee!
So somewhere there is a group of voice actors that are having a battle royale for each of these roles.
We all do it. We all have impressions of Michael Tatum that we do. We all, Ian is another one. We all do impressions of each other. We really do. We'll hang out with each other and do impressions of each other. Sometimes.
I would join that.
But that's any kind of actor. It's not just voice actors.
That's why we like helping.
Yes.
Can we hear some of those impressions?
I'm not turning this off.
Who?
There. That's why.
Oh, you want to hear? I think he wants to hear impressions. You want to hear a voice.
Yes.
Let's see. See, this is when I get nervous because people are.
I'm just staring at you.
It's called a soul gaze.
How many of you have been taught hammer? Anybody taught He's a good guy. And,
He's actually heard me do that, and I don't think he's very far.
and only a stone's throw away from top Capricorn is somebody you'll probably know and love. Hey, sweetie.
That's right. I did it. Let's see there. I don't know how many of you have actually meditated on the table, but every now and then you'll hear a little come out. And it's not something that can be helpful. We'll see what we can do. I don't know if most of you know who Ethan is. Any of you seen Porco? Nobody? You gotta check out
Do
Porco.
Romano.
It seems ridiculous on its
He does
face,
Romano
but
and he
it's
does Chuck
actually
and Penny and
a
stuff.
funny show.
Ian Sinclair?
Ian Sinclair. Hey, buddy.
Or
Hey,
Ian.
buddy, how you doing? But again, you have to be it. Otherwise, it's not very funny. I can't do Eric Bale because nobody can do Eric Bale. Who else? But anyway, that's what we do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Why didn't I think of that before? Have you ever met Red Airs? Anybody?
Can you do any female?
They won't let me.
Do it anyway.
No, I Exactly. I wish I could do like impressions of the girl voices. That would be awesome. We actually, occasionally, when people bring it up, when I'm working with Colleen, we do that for people all the time because they get a kick out of it. They go, "Oh, Jimmy," and I'll go, "Rachel." Because we did that all the time. I think we have another episode.
Do we have any more questions? Oh, wow, okay, right in front.
I have random blue gender questions. Do you remember that?
Oh, wow, yeah. That was
Take it
back
out
in
of
the
your back
beginning.
pocket.
That was way back in the beginning.
Well, I know, what was it like being like, you're just kind of crazy at the end?
I get a surprising number of crazy people roles. And yeah, it does make you eventually begin to wonder about yourself. You have to think, what do these people see in me? That they go, and you know they're whispering to each other, because I've never heard them say it, but as soon as I find out who it was. No, it's a matter of, I think it's a matter of dedication. I will dedicate myself to being a crazy person. If they want me to be crazy, I just say how crazy they want me. Because I will dedicate to it. And that's another thing that, as a voice actor in general, will help you get more work. I can't tell you how many other people I've worked with outside of Funimation. And perhaps it's just as a soldier, and you yell for them, and they go, "That's why I love people that work at Funimation." You go, "Why?" Because you really yell. You know, you're not one of these stage people who comes in and goes, "Oh!" Is that good? Is that good? No, that doesn't sound like you're yelling. "Oh!" That's not yelling at all.
Well, that's how I was taught to probably yell when I was in school.
Well, they lie. It doesn't sound real. You gotta put the throat into it, you know?
So
You
what
gotta.
would a proper yell sound
And then you take a drink of water.
Some of the stuff these characters do, like how they become later on, do you find out from the very beginning that that's how they become, or do you get surprised as you're
It depends on the director. Fruits Basket, I didn't find out that Kyo changed into a big lizard bunny until I was doing it. You don't. Especially if no one tells you about it, you are not prepared for it, and you watch it and you go, "What is that?" and you know, Dustin told me, he goes, "That's Kyo's true form." True form of what? I don't even know what that is. That's what he turns into when the bracelet's taken off. I was like, "Tell him to put it back on." I like the boy and the cat. That is cute. No wonder they didn't like it.
Are you prejudiced against lizard bunnies?
I'm not. And now I have a special place in my heart for lizard bunnies. I didn't know at the time. It was a surprise, and I knew my parents were going to do it.
So how well can you get with your voice until you just have to stop? You start to stop and move.
Depends on how much yelling you're doing. Barry the Chopper, luckily, didn't really have all that many lines when you think about it. And the lines that he did have, by the time he got to yelling, were so few and far between that I guess there was the scene between he and Al, where they have a fight, and he's trying to convince Al that he's not real.
Yes. I remember that.
And something that I think I was in the booth for 2 hours or something for that little block that we did, and I was hoarse, if not almost speechless when it was over. But again, that's someone, we're talking crazy. We're talking, why are you yelling crazy? But he does, he yells. And Mike McFarland wanted to stay true to that, so he pushed me to do it. And you just do it, that's what you're there to do. But you can only push it so far. And that goes for anyone's voice, I don't care who they are, you can only push it so far.
A lot of people on Blue Gender moved on to Fruits Basket. Was that just because they were all on Funimation, or was that just...
Yeah, Again, you're talking way fewer actors at that time. If you listen to, which I love about it, if you go back and watch some of the old Dragon Ball Z stuff, you've got, maybe a cast of 13, 14 guys doing all the voices for all the male characters, and roughly equal number of women. They did all the voices, and nobody complained. Nobody went, "Oh, that's obviously the same voice as this other person." Nobody, it was just a good show. And in those early days, it was kind of, well, who do we have to work with? Who do we have around? And especially if you care about the show, you get the best of what you got. I'm happy that they, not knowing at the time especially, I'm very glad that they picked me, because I would not have put myself in that same category back then. But it was Sabat who told me one time, he said, I think you could do this. I'm like, thank you, sir.
All right, so we see all the people here, and we all just love you.
I love you.
Aw.
But how much do your fans come to you and you feel their reception? How much does that happen?
It usually happens. This is going to seem strange, but I know that you all know what I'm talking about, because we're having this moment right now. When people realize that I'm not too abnormal, and they realize that I'm approachable, and that I'm not, I hope you all realize that I'm not that full of myself. And that's something you can really pick up on with other people anywhere, anytime. Just being a genuine person. And I can tell you for a fact that there will be people you will all meet this weekend that you will have the same experience where you go, wow, that's a real person. And there will be others you will meet that you will go, they are completely full of themselves, but man, I like that show they're on. I don't know who those people are. I haven't met them either, but it will happen for all of us. And I just hope that at the end of the day, I am an approachable person, and that we can have real discussions and talk about things. And I don't know. I still have trouble believing people show up to hear me talk at a panel, to be honest with you. It's the oddest thing in the world for me. It's kind of like the whole autograph thing. I was talking about that earlier. Some guy goes, so you're not charging for autographs? No. I wouldn't pay someone else for their autograph. Why would I expect someone to pay me to write my name? I write my name every day. I'm very, very good at it. That is not to say that I don't understand why other people do. Some people, this is their living, this is what they're trying to do, and every little bit helps, and I completely support that. But, Funimation pays me to do my job. And I don't know if it's really easy.
What was the turning point? You started doing this work at some point, and then you always got a point where, all right, this is what I'm going to do. What pushed you over the edge?
It was never like that for me. It was never a this is what I do situation. Until last year, I had a day job, my entire life. Well, not my entire life. I'm not a child labor in the mine. But, warehouses, factories, actual jobs that you have to go to and do things for. And so Funimation is cool because I know I'm working. I know eventually that something is going to be produced that I can say, I was a part of that, but it's not the same as at the end of the day looking down the aisle and saying, I built that and that and that, we're shipping it out today. I feel like I've worked, I'm tired, I'm sweaty, it's a whole different dynamic. So to be able to, most of the time my work at Funimation was at night. I would leave work at 5 o'clock, drive about an hour to get to Funimation, and then record from 6 to 10. And then drive an hour back home, and if I'm lucky and the work was plentiful, do the same thing the next day. But that part of it came easy to me because, again, used to work in it. So my parents always taught me that sort of, well, how bad do you want it? You know, do you want to do Funimation? Then you're probably going to need another job, and you're going to need to do whatever you need to do to get there and make sure you can do Funimation. And that was always, I just didn't want to give up acting. That's really all it ever was for me. I wanted some place that I could still act, because it's fun.